Hey everybody, I put on my glasses so I can see a little bit better because I want to see who I'm talking to. I want to thank everybody on Facebook. I can't name you off, but for some reason, I think it was Deb Schwab always kept here because Debbie, debit, the debit card, the PIN numbers, and then it gets me to think about a lot of things, you know. I mean, I look at a McDonald's cup, I see the sides, it says large, and large is the 12th letter, 2 dice, 6 and 6 is 12. But it can also be done in the first dice. But it can't, because 12 doesn't add up. The two biggest numbers that you can get on one dice is 6 and 5, and that's 11. 6 and 5, 5 and 6. You see, I'm always going off. I just came home from being out. From where I was, I wrote a little bit all day. And it bothered me, and all day I practiced. Be quiet. Don't do it. Just be quiet. Just do your work. I mean, do you think I do any of my work alone? Do you think I go anywhere without my stuff? You gotta be kidding. You don't want to forget this. You don't want to forget the systems, the mathematical ways of doing things by going inside of different games. But wait a second. Inside of different games. Then we match the games. We see where the numbers match, just like the Kabbalah, just like the roulette and the chakra, and the deck of cards and the dice. It all comes from the same place. Does it really matter what the game is if you can't figure it out? Then you're not actually playing anything at all. I only came on here to say thank you to everybody. Wish me a happy birthday on my 17,897.25 days of my life. But it really only counts tomorrow. The 0.75 that's missing is that whole day you get with the moon. Whether you see it or not, you still need that day of the moon. It's almost like the races. If your horse is born after a certain period of time, January 1st, it's another year old. They keep all the horses in line. They don't care about the 6 months. I mean, the first 6 months, you're ticking up your mother anyways. The moon is the boss. The bulls and the bears. Because they are mentioned so often, it becomes hidden in translation. Just like we call the Latter-day Saints, or may as well call them the letters of saints. Because it was the saints who created the lines and built that created the letters. If we go from January 4th, or 3rd, because that would be creation, from January 3rd, a pregnancy will take 273 days to 1 day old, which is the 4th. Starts on the 3rd, but it's actually finished on the 4th. You can't know the same night, you'll only know tomorrow. You just got laid. What do you want? You're pregnant or what? Wait till tomorrow. Certain things have to move forward and push back just a little bit, because we don't need certain things exact. The date that would be on the birth of creation, on 273 days, being January 3rd, which is actually the 4th, but we talk about the spirit, because it's the woman that's going to have the baby, not the man. The man would be the 4th. He has no spirit. He can't make it that way. Man gets his spirit in 9, but we're not talking about that. The positions are different in the card. The date is October 4th, my birthday. Christ was the same thing. I'm born on the 277th day of the year, 77 of 2 islands of the 77 Christ. Christ was actually born on a perfect day, because if we keep the 25th of December, he's born on the 360th day of the year. One circle around. Therefore, being on 360 of 273, we have to take off 987. 87 equals GH heaven. 87 is January And February, 59, and then into March, 69, 79, 27th of March. Now we move it around because that's basically Easter. March, in the last week, is already into the next month. Once it passes the 21st, you're on to the other side of the monopoly. 21 is a dice cube value in general by adding up the 6 sides of the numbers that are on each side equals to 21. If you add up just the 2 highest, it equals 11. Now you have 32, and now you have the E-pass. Why? Because the letter E is the 5th letter. Plus 32, it goes all the way around to 36 of creation, or 1963, the year I was born, right off the roulette wheel. All these numbers I'm giving you are not my numbers. If you walk into a hospital, they'll tell you how long some of the pregnancies are and are not. So once you get to the 21st, you're on the other side. Don't forget, we got to play to the right, to the left, and in between. But now you'd be in the corner. So now you have to skip over the corner and go to the other side, almost like cutting off the corners. 4 seasons. And in general, they all fall at the end of 20. Because 20 is just free parking. They all start at 21. And who would or why not get a red from Kentucky? The horses are good out there that tow us around with the moon. You'd be on Kentucky Avenue, Illinois, Indiana. Indiana, we go race car driving. If I am correct, it's number 23 on the board, Indiana, from Go, the 24th one. 23 and 24 equals 47 is time. 74 is Jesus Christ. We're on Indiana. And we got number 23 ready to come in and go. We got the car, she's hot. Let's put her on the track. '21 is Kentucky, of course. You got blackjack. And that's where they want to go, down to that track and keep them going, Jack. '24 on the dice is Indiana Jones. 24 is the X letter. It's X-Man, and he's ready to roll. 25th is B&O, Beta Omega, Beta 2 times Omega 15. You got 2 eggs, 15 and 15. Perfect. That's the way we'll start. Let's take those 2 eggs at 15 and 15 and just say it's 30 love. But now that you got the 2 eggs, you got to bring them into a world. You got to give them a 10. So now he's got 30 and 10 is 40. 40 is only the game in the world around Monopoly. Now you're looking for game. What's the pointage on the game? It wouldn't matter. Add 1, add 2. The only reason for that is once you add 1 from Go, you're on the Mediterranean. You've been added in. But if you get 2, because you can't actually get 1, because you got 2 dice, you'd be on community chest. But you can't get 1 and 2. Because 1's out of the game. We just passed it. It used to be 1 Go, but now Go becomes the 41st position, the 40th on the roll from start, 81, 9 by 9, 81, the 81 worlds. It's a hell of a Rubik's Cube we're playing here, eh? The 14th position in Rubik's Cube, which is just before the railroad track, Pennsylvania, is the Christ cross that creates 4 dots. 2 different worlds of 4 dots. North, south, east, west, 4 dots. North, east, southeast, southwest, the cross. But the angle, when you run something like on your TV, it's a little bit longer. But that's okay. It seems like everybody's playing from the 5-hole. So you take the dice, and you have the dice, and what can you get? 2 and 3. Because you can't start with 1. 2 needs a spirit. You can't go to 5 because you don't have your 2. You start off what the dice say. You follow the laws of the dice, whoever made the dice. You get 5. But you're on reading railroad or red. You read a book. Have the color red. Now that you got 5, and like I said, 5 and 32, 32 goes around the alphabet and then runs over 5 again. You got E and E. Not a cigarettes. This, what I'm doing, if it's anything at all, I definitely don't want to be here doing it alone for too much longer. I can't write fast enough. And I write too fast and I can't read it after. So I have to memorize everything. So I don't try to memorize everything because I was told for 3 or 4 years when I became sick, I couldn't use my head. My memory was somewhere else. I just couldn't put 2 and 2 together. Then I started to understand. And then I started to see things in my head. So I said to myself, trust your own mind. You're okay. If it's going fast, and you know how to follow it or slow it down by being calm and patient, there will be no more fast. And after stressing it for 5 straight and 6 straight years, 7 years, in my 7th year, in my 5th month, 5 and 7 on the dice, 57.75. In 2 years from now. Don't forget, the Gregorian calendar is off by 3 years. They started the calendar 3 years after Christ was born. -3 plus 3. Remember I told you the littlest you can get on the other side is a 2? Because the 3 is in front of it. She's in front. She's odd. 2, 4, 6, 8 world, but she's odd. Seems like beta is running 1. It seems like beta is running 1973, which are the corners of your telephone. 19 is red in roulette. 37, if there was a 37, it would be red. 19 is a 10. 3 and 7 is a 10. 10, 10 equals 100. 100 of who he is of 10, 10. The system that hooks up to us is 1038. The 3 pigs of the 8 heaven of the 5 and 5 dot. The 5 and 5 dot, for one reason, is the minute you put the spirit sticks next to it, it's the letter M. Since he's the 1 and the 5, the 3 is not a whole house, it's completed in 5. 5 and 1, M, in Roman numerals is 1,000. You have 6,000 years. That's what a Jewish calendar is. 225 years that are missing from the Jewish calendar, plus 1, minus 1 and plus 1, before it started, can equal out to 9 times 25, 9 lives of the cat. 25, because those are all quarters. You make 9 quarters. You can't go 17, because it's got to be in one piece. They're all going together. They have their own coins, so you put a quarter in each. It's the change in my pocket. What am I supposed to do? Another law. If you can't find something, find something. Something has to work. If God made it unique, okay? If God made it unique, if you find it, it's not as unique as it used to be. Or you like it and you're having fun. Or you don't care about it, or you don't know. To you it's unique. But everything's unique. minus 1 plus 1, minus 1, okay, to the corner, which would be on Boardwalk, plus 9 would be on Connecticut. Connect me to the Boardwalk. That's how it starts. Connect me to the Boardwalk. And then they go back and forth with the dice, because on the first dice, don't forget, I'm telling you this story, but nothing happened anywhere because the first dice didn't come out. The first dot didn't come out. You work the first dice, you work the second dice, you work the first and second dice, and then you have the results. And then you bring in the next cube, and you just keep doing it. 9 times. In an 8 heaven, because of the train tracks. 8 corners are gone. Monopoly has 40. Take away 8, it's 32. The E-Pass. If you want to get 32 really close, you use P&P, Park Place. 6116 equals 77 of the Christ. Placement of the placenta. We were sent here, and there was a clause. We had to read it before they sent that. They talk a little different from the past. The future. Change the words. Now I can start playing with numbers, but I don't want to go there. Do you know what's funny? I made a multiplication today because of somebody who was talking about cycles of the moon. So I made a calculation of 19 by 19, which came out to 361. (361) or 360. The only difference is whether or not you're on go in the Mediterranean, because if you start on go 0 or 1 and go over to the Mediterranean, you're somewhere else. So that's first. Because on the first dice, there were 6 ones and nothing else. The total was 6. The learning how we get 666, we learn at the same time. When I bump into things, I talk about them. That's why I lose my place sometimes. I learn as I go. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. So anyways, 19 by 19 is a moon cycle equaling 361. Times 3 equals to a 1083. 3 is creation, it's 1080. Your television set. I didn't finish about Park Place. P&P. 16 and 16 equals to 32. We don't want them to be the same, so we'll go to 17 and 15. The 17th letter is the Q. The 15th letter is the O. Now, how in the world do you say that? Coho, quo? Don't you need the U? The minute you have a U, you have a transfer, because that means a birth and a life. So now you have QUO, transformation, T, E passage, electronics, E. You got the quote. Now we're going to see what the shares are like. Spirit heaven, angel resident, a star, a spirit and a soul, a star upon the Christmas tree. Number 5. Number 5 from the corners, number 5 on the tracks, number 5 all the way around. The star is for God. He doesn't need the other point because we're the other point of the matter of the star. Below the Christmas trees is the gifts for us. We are the receivers. But we're not playing a game. If you do the 19 moons times 1080, which is 1083, 1083 is 10 by 83 is a whole. 10 by 38 is a whole. They have little differences. I mean, I'm going to go back and forth and tell you this, but when you got $5 in your pocket, you need change. You're going to have 1, 2. You're going to have 2 ones, because you got to break them up for 2 worlds. One whole world and one whole world. That's 4. Now you have the change. 3/4, a dime, a nickel, and a penny says spirit. 3/4 says the wholeness. 3/4. 3/4 on one side, 1/4 on the other side, counts for the cross angle of 1973. You cross angle, you go to the center, average. Anyways, I don't want to go there because I found something else that I just learned. Just learned right now. I'm going to try and see if I can do it. When you count 10, 10, 2, 8, and 4, 6, that's the Christ. 10, 10, 100. He's the power and the energy of the world. The rest are the planets. 1 crossing over to 9 is further than 2 going down to 8. So maybe I have to use now the 5 in the center and go 9 by 5 by 1, 45. 7 by 5 by 3, 105. 105 is J-E, Omega. That's God. Poker, 105. Times 4 suits 420 words. 105 and 45 equals 150. 2 worlds, it's 300, and we just went bowling. We only have 10 frames with 12 shots. We've got 2 dice, 6 and 6, 6 sides and 6 sides is 12. That makes the bowling 12, but it's special, the bowling, because it's chopped off at 10, and you have to do the rest inside the 12. The reason for that is because the 1, even though you count it, it's right underneath the 6 on both dice. So you're -1 and -1. You have to count them all, but you're plus minus. So you have to count them in the same box, because you can't plus minus in the other box. It's only in the 10 frame. The next calculation, from 19 times 19 times 3 times 3, the next one, it's a crazy number. It's 3553, which is the double spirit, plus you have the 9 and 49, which means 8. 35, 3 and 5 is 8. 9 and 4 is 13, 8, 4, 8, 4, 4, 8. Wow, I'm going to have to get in and explain this. 49 means eternal. 9 is the birth. 4 corners of God, 1973, that connect the worlds together. It's like, it's an energy. And then 35. 35 are the 2 highest you can have. First you have the 3 dice. Once you have that 3 dice, all you have to add is 1, 2 dice, and you get to the 5 dice. So the 1 is not there because the 1 is already in the 3 with a family of 2, beta, and the 5 is in there with the 1 and a family of 2 and 2. 2 in the 3, 2 and 2 in the 5, 2, 2, 2 equals 6 men. I now multiply this number by 3 and get 97, 47. 47, 74, 97, 47. Regardless of the numbers, when you have 4 numbers, I'm not moving them. 9 is first, and then it says 747. Jesus and the cross. Jesus and the cross, it's saying. Because cross and Jesus both count for 74. 148. Just like I told you before, 8448. Jesus counts for 1 spirit of 48. 8448 is the same thing to 1 spirit. It's not going anywhere. When you skip and use the first and the third and the second and the fourth, which you're allowed to do because you're allowed to do a lot of things, you can split 97 and 47 on 2 sides. But when I skip 7 and 7 of Christ, this one says Jesus and the cross. 4 and 9, 4 and 9, the same thing of the 7 and 7 world. 9747. Now you want to hear what's weird? Today was the first day that I ever did that number. And a guy comes in and he says, how come your addresses are screwed up at your place? So I told them the numbers, and I started adding them up. And you want to know what they added to? I'm not gonna have it in order. The answer over here was 4. Anyways, whatever it is, it's the same numbers. I added 2,400 and 2,400 makes 4,800. Again, with the 4,800. 4,800 and 4,800. Wow, I gotta take a pen. I'm not perfect. I wanted to show off and show you I can remember. I couldn't remember. Okay, 2402, 23, 95, 7974. These are my two addresses at work. 2402, 2395. When you add them together, 4797. 4797. 2 and 2, they're split, two sides of the world. This address over here says the 2 world of X. This address says over here, the creation of 9, birth, and the 5 passage. 9 by 5, 45. 45 is an angle. 45 degrees. Go up and down 45. They don't use it in tennis because it's reserved. Screen just popped out on me. So now, I mean, it's crazy. How is it possible that this and this go together? So now I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to add them all up now and see what I get. Or minus them. You know, if I minus them, here I have 4,000 and 1 comes out to, oh my God, don't tell me this. Let me try this. Minus 4797. And here I'm going to go plus 9747. And I've got to do it to a 1010 world. And I can also do it to the 11 world. Or I can just add it and minus it and just see what I got. So that's what I'm going to do. Because there's too many numbers. 7 and 7 is 14. 4, 1. 9 and 4 is 13 and 1 is 4. 1. 7 and 7 is 14 and 1 is 5. Carry to 1. 9 and 4 is 13 and 1 is 14. Look at this number it gives you. 14544. This is the reason why there's not 4. You see how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 goes into the center of 14, the passage of the 4 and 4 world. 8, 5. Forget about this one in the center right now. 8, 5. 8, 5 to a 10, 10 is 25, which is Jack, which is on B and O, Beta Omega, which is 2 eggs of 15. 30. 45. They continue. Certain things, just by listening to your sound and what's going on, you must eliminate life. You can't live anymore if you want to travel, because you'll be living more than before. Then once you're entered into the entrance, you can come back down a little bit to life, but you won't see and you won't do like before, because you're going to enjoy it a whole lot more. Expression, emotion. I try to not have too much emotion, because I find that with a high there is a low. But yes, I do. I try to think of a situation that's funny or something, and I laugh all by myself. And I cry all by myself. I like to make myself cry. You got to clean those teardrops. Old salt and water and whatever you ate is there, and you know what? You want to clean those tears. You got to cry, man. You got to cry. Exhaustion. To exhaust. You have sex, and then you sleep. You have to take the pressures off of certain areas. Then you feel good about everything. And you go to bed because you harmonized. You ate well, you didn't eat too much. You looked into the paper, but you didn't care about everything that was going on, just to see maybe there's something that will elevate you and everybody else around you, but you'll elevate the rest of the world. I've never worked on those numbers for the tsunamis that have come upon us in Louisiana, but it does split near to Mississippi, and like I said, 4 S's. The Mississippi really is split. The PP is Park Place, 1616, 77, part of the Christ comes in there. That's one of the reasons why when you drive to Highway 70 and Highway 35, all the way from Illinois, why Illinois? And Ohio? Because of Monopoly and a song I heard, that's all. Ohio is 2 omegas and 8 and 9 is 72 and 30, 102, which is Valentine in the letter count. But I never did get to the 102nd day of the year because that's the blackjack count, 102, 91, 11 days. That'll be the 12th of April. Where were we? Are we into emotions? It's very hard to guide ourselves that every time we turn around and do something, we're working with someone else. Now, if we're talking too much, we have to learn to respect. If we want to talk, go home. There's a mirror. Do all the talking you want. You don't have to listen to yourself. You don't have to look at yourself. That's the thing about talking. You can close your eyes. But if someone's giving you a hand signals, you're going to be all screwed up. You'll see the shadows. Shadows of the night. 102. I can tell you right now, if you go look on your online right now, and I don't have the number in front of me, but if you go 102 Celsius, which is going to, if you bring the 102 Celsius into Fahrenheit, count the result. Whatever the result is, 5 and 3 and 4 equals 12. You're always going to get a 5. You're always going to get a 14. You're always going to get a 23. One of these results will happen. The only way you'll get a 5 is that you count the last digit. You must count all the digits down to 2 and then down to 1. You'll either have 23, 5, or you'll have 14 and 5, because that's the way it is. I didn't make the laws. It just works that way. Wow. Somebody else created something they didn't even know. They were giving out codes. Holy shit. You think I'm going to be in trouble for doing this? I mean, like Monopoly might be just all codes. And I'm decoding it. Monopoly is the Bible. Whatever you touch is it. Could be a word. Could be a word that you heard. The herd of man, herd of cattle. Didn't hear any cattle. Cow jumped over the moon. We're in with the new story, out with the old. Jump over the moon. In with the new story, out with the old, in with the new. If the cow is jumping over a moon, the only time we really need to jump over a moon, because if it was flat, we can walk. We wouldn't have to jump over. So you take the Monopoly game and you put it into a circle. You have to round out the edges. The cow cut corners. How do I know she cut corners? Because there's 4 corners in Monopoly and she's got 4 tits. If she wasn't cutting corners, what was she doing when she went over the moon? She went around the corners. Why? Because in Monopoly, you start in a corner, you end up on the other side of the corner, in between is 9. Forget about the train track. There's 8. 4 on one side of the train track and 4 on the other side of the train track. 4 train tracks. Maybe they're hooking up to the cow, carrying the letter. Information, highway, white and black. What would gray be? The story? Because it's not this side and it's not that side. Gray is just a story. Unless the story has a result and it gets documented and put away, it's still just a story. But it's your story. But in the information system, all the stories are the same. When it gets down into your documentation and your files, it'll be put away under a color. Where is that? Oh, I forgot to tell you that in order for the Lord to set this planet up, I mean, aren't we missing the main point? Where in the world is the memory? Don't you have a memory stick? You don't have a memory stick? I'm going to show you a memory stick, okay? Just a little bit, okay? Here it is, the stars in the sky. 2, 1, 5, B and O, beta, omega. We each need. You see this? You see this in here? You see the way it is? I have to draw that a little bit. Hold on, let me draw that, because there's, when it's not straight, look, you remember that pointed arrow from the Indians? You remember the diamond? The diamond? The gravestone? When you're dead? Not only that, there's always someone watching you. Let me see how I can do this. Let me see, which way do I want to hold it? No, I like it this way. No, this way. Where'd it go? Here. See the wings on each side? The eyes? 4 and 6 and 2 and 1 and 3. That's the setup in numbers. We don't need this down here. Down here is us. This is how they get the information. See this? Stars pointing down. In a V, receiving, or pointing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, and 1 is 6. There ain't no 7 for man. He ends up at 6 at the end. He gets his own star. But it's a 5-point star, and he's 6. Makes 11, and we start the game all over again. The pigs and the dice and the bulls and the bears. I even looked at some scriptures today. And music, you can play with anything. Because the words are marching along. And now there's a separation between the first letter and the second letter. Oh, the first letter's leaning over to the left. Oh, what world did he come from? Oh, yes, okay, he's from that world. Thank God. Don't let him go any further. If he goes to the next, he can't go to the next level because you can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Raphael, 72, 86. And that number 2, 86. 8 of the heaven, 6 of the man, 9 by 8. 8 heaven, 9 birth is what came in to this world. Reverse of that is 1 and 2. Alpha, Bet, Ima, Abba. Oh man, if anybody wants to work on something, they have something from past history, I don't know, I don't care where it's from. I always want to take a look at it, because if you know the what's it called, if you know the way to do that, I mean, I can put in my numbers. And then we can share the information. Maybe we can find something. Maybe we can break the code of the chalice. Because the chalice that broke in the Da Vinci Code was a reminder. It was the water that flows in all of us. One paper can only say one thing in the past, but the past has moved on and it's 2,000 years later. There's 2,000 years more of information left out. You think Jesus played Monopoly? Did they play cards? Did they play games? Raphael 72. Oh, thank you very much. It's my birthday. Thank you. I'm going to eat with my parents tonight. Thank you. I was thinking of bringing this baseball, but it's all scruffed up, starting to tell the truth about the first world of three or the second world of three. Two different sides of the ball. One world, two worlds. See the 11? We're going around this way. He threw a curved ball. You see what happens if he throws a curve? You can see. Is it a knuckler? How does the ball go? Show me where you place your fingers on the knuckler. I'll take a look at the lines. We'll see the position. And we'll know where you're holding the ball from. I mean, they can do it in blueprints also. But we're going to add in a couple of things. Games and places. Cities and countries. Maps and highways. Tornado City, Kansas City, because it comes off the cyclone. The Mississippi cools, and brings that, it's just I can't even explain what it is because I don't know how it works. It's just like the air you breathe. You know what I'm saying? Comes down the Mississippi. That's why we have to remember the Mississippi. That's why we have to remember St. Louis, Oklahoma, Highway 44. Crossing over to the 40, basically coming off the 80, is it not? 80 heaven to 40 to gain, crossing through the 4 and 4 world. Oklahoma, not far from Texas, Roswell, Highway 25 and 27, in which can both count for a Y. Let me change the subject for a minute. I want to go back to, can you say this word? Can you say this word? A-C-E-T-H. Try and say it. If you can't say it, well, why don't you do like you do with the G and H, make it silent, and then finish. A-C-E, the C and E is silent, T-H, A-T-H. What would you say? Eighth? Eighth? Don't say these two letters on ace. Eighth. The one in a TH position, in a spirit position, says he's number 8. The ST. First ST, put it with ACE. You have a stake. C and K is the same thing. Same sound. This is number 3. This is number 2 in the second level. Created by 1 and 1. That's why it's the same. RD, third round, best round, all around. That's okay, we're going up for 18, but we're only going to hit 9 and 9. 2 in the cart, 1 scorecard. 2 in the other cart, 1 scorecard. We won't talk about that now. They've killed too many birdies. I hate listening to golf. How many eagles? Hey, kill an eagle! Oh, fuck! No wonder the eagles are extinct in the States. No wonder, fuck, they killed an eagle. Holy shit. Wow, killed a birdie, killed an eagle. And 2 guys, all of a sudden, I hear them talking. I mean, I didn't know golf was about sex. Guy tees off from the 16th hole, hits it in 1 shot. Ball goes in the hole, flags in the hole, ball runs around the shaft. The other guy goes, hits the ball, goes in the hole, first shot, hits the other ball in the hole, both balls go around the shaft. Guys get over to the green and they look down and go, whoa, both our balls are together. I thought we had 2 of our own. I must be playing with myself. The reason you have 2 cards, there is nobody else. The other 2 are the counter of the action, up and down, 2 plus the spirit, 3 plus the heart of your blood, 4, body and mind. So, where was I going? Up and down. Was I down on Monopoly from 80 up all the way down to 40? Highway 40. Highway 27 and 25. Isn't that funny? On Highway 40, Highway 27 and 25 come together. 52 of the Mayan, what they talk about. And then Roswell falls into that area. In between. And then Colorado are big giant pyramids, and it's all communication there, my friend. Big time. Big time. I have to get the phone. Just give me a second. Weirdo. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm doing my work. I'm going to leave. I'm going to call Donovan 20 minutes and come for about, what, 6 or before. Why? What is it? Why? What Mommy said yesterday, 7. Yeah, I'm coming. Of course I'm coming. And Donovan's supposed to come too. I have to call him in 20 minutes when he gets home. You have to ask him. I don't know exactly, so I can't tell you. Okay, yeah. Oh, right, okay, Elise, okay. Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, bye. So we were talking about highway this and highway that in Amarillo, Texas, and Amarillo is yellow, and yellow is the energy of Christ. You can see it in the 1 ball and the 1 ball and the 9 ball in pool, because the 1 is the spirit and the 9 is the birth, and they're usually red, now they're yellow. The chicken of the egg is yellow. It's the egg yolk of the yellow. That's the energy of the Christ, is the little chicken of the beta heaven. It's another way of talking about it. We are an egg of an egg. That's what we are, like it or not. If your mother had 2 eggs and you came out of one of them, then you came from an egg. Just because it turned into a liquid bubble of some sort, or a bag. So you came here in a bag. It delivered you in a bag. So you're not in an egg, you're in a bag. You're in a sack. Hey man, came here from the sack. Well, if you're in Quebec, the sack is the liquor commission, and that's where you get a lot of spirits from. A sack or a bag. Amarillo. Beef cattle. F letter EF and B letter BE. Number 26, 6, 22, 6, 88. 2 connecting heavens at point 0, which is center. Point 0 is center. It's the honeycomb. If it was the mug and dove, the 7 would be center plus the 0. The 0 becomes now the omega egg, and it's valued at 15. Total is 105. Poker. Add up the ace to the ace is number 14, and you have 105. Check this out. We're going to check this out, okay? We're going to check this out. We're going to check this out. 105 Celsius. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought I lost my whole picture. Oh my God. Anyways, 105 equals 221 if I remember. I'm going to try and explain this to you. Just hold on a second, I'm coming back there. Okay. 102 Celsius is 215.6. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 1 and 2 is 3 is 14. 105 Celsius is 221 Fahrenheit. No decimal points. Exact. 7 times the 15 beta egg is 105. It's exact. Because the passage is the 2 dice, and the 2 dice, and the 1 in the center. And that's the 5. 105. Minus 1 plus 1, minus 5 plus 5, 5 and 1 is 6. The reason why you go 1 0 to 5 is because if you do not put the 1 before the O, you now have to minus it because it's in between. You know, between 1 and 5 is 2, 3, 4. This is on the other side, so 0 to 5 says 5 all the time. It'll always say 0, 5. It's always going to be 50, 50, 50, 50 if the monopoly. 50, 50, 50, equals to 200. $200 you get for pass go, and the bicentennial. 2156 is nothing. 215.6 Fahrenheit is 102 Celsius. That's blackjack. It says 2 omega, egg 6. The bottom one of 105, 105 is the 10th letter, 5 and 5. The first God makes from 0, okay, from 0, he goes to 5, which is E. And then from there, okay, he goes to the corner, which is 10. So he's made 5 and 5 to equal 10. Now he goes one more 5, okay, and he's at 15. How can I explain this? The Monopoly board with the trains and everything, it's 5 and 5. So 10 is the letter J. It's the first 10. It's the first omega. It's 1 omega. 1 times 15 is 15. It's the first egg. You couldn't double anything in the first egg. The 5 is the letter E. It's the passage. It's the electrical whatever. But 0, 5 would say 50. All the corners would say that. 105, 5 is the train's 200 bicentennial. The corners are different. One corner seems to be disappeared. 105 is J-E. The word in French says I. 10 and 5 is 15, it's omega. And it was the omega that was between them that began, that started it all. Raphael, 7286. Thanks.